My guy, my guy. Let me unmute. There
My
you go.
boy, what's going on, my boy? Hey, man,
Can't call it.
technical difficulties, man. That's all my bad. I don't know what I had going on over here, but we here.
We here
We
and we
here.
ready,
We here.
man.
Hey, man.
New Year's Eve, man. Happy New Year. You
Hey,
feel
man.
me?
Happy New Year, man.
We
Hey,
done made it, boy. Episode 45.
boy, listen. It's been a whole what? Shoot, we started this thing back in
I'm gonna say it had to be like May.
May. Yeah, it's only
Probably like
52 weeks in a year, so we did 45. We was only like
mm,
7 weeks off from the beginning of the year, so that would have put us
mhm.
around January, February, around March, around March, April,
What
somewhere
up,
in there.
Kels?
So
What up?
been what's up, Kels? What's going on, man? Um, yeah, man, bowl season, man. You know what time it is, man. It's a big game today, two big games today.
Two
You know what I
two big
mean?
games.
We're gonna start off with the TCU game. You know, I don't want to talk about Georgia right now. We start off talking with the TCU, um,
Michigan, right?
Michigan, man. TCU, Michigan. That's a tricky game. I'm not really too sure. I'm not really too sure how to lean on that, man. Cause TCU, they did lose their last game. It was hard to beat the team twice. You know what I mean? They had already beat that team, blown that team out, and then they had to play them again in their conference championship. And of course, they lost. They went for the win. They could have went to overtime and did all that, but I like TCU today. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I think I see a
Um,
TCU Georgia national championship.
Ooh, you would love a TCU Georgia championship. Uh, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that TCU is going to, because I mean, like you said, they fell against Kansas State, which don't get me wrong, Kansas State not soft, they're not trash, but it ain't Michigan. You feel me? Um, so I don't know how it's gonna do, man. Like it's very up in the air. I don't know. I don't know what Michigan we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get the Michigan that played Ohio State, or you're going to get the Michigan who, what I'm saying, looked normal during the season. They didn't look bad, but they didn't look great. They just looked like, good team. But against Ohio State, they looked amazing. But you have to take into account it's Ohio State they're going against. It's a rivalry game. It's, what I'm saying, like things like that factor into it. Like those are
I
games
feel
where,
you, but 22 at home. You got the doors blowed off of you at home.
hey man,
That's tough.
rivalry games are should always have asterisks next to them, man, because you never know how a team is going to show up. Like when it's a rivalry game, it's records don't matter. It's just come
That's true. That's true.
tough
That's
play.
true.
So I don't know,
It'd be a
man.
little bit more passion in some of those games. But I just think for you guys to know that the college football playoff is on the line, you're at home, and Michigan beat you last year as well. Yeah, bro. I think Ohio State gave their best effort, and that's what they got.
Right, we're gonna see, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a better game than the national championship will be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A Georgia Michigan rematch might be pretty good. I mean, I think we
Well,
know how it would turn out. But
without that defense, I would like to see. Without that defense that Georgia had, because really that's what beat Michigan last year. That Georgia, I went front 11. What I'm saying? Like that is what beat Michigan. Like they could not move that line. And Jalen Carter, what I'm saying? You got
who's gonna
Dave.
block him? Who's gonna block 88 today, bro? That's what I'm asking.
I
Who's
mean,
going
Michigan
to
has.
block 88? They had all the they had all the accolades last year. They had all the litness winners last year. They had all the awards
Hey
last
man,
year, bro. I don't
they
want to hear
got the
nothing about that.
second highest rated tackle in the NFL
Well,
draft.
Jalen Carter plays inside, so unless that tackle's moving inside and he gonna play guard or center, you ain't telling me nothing that I
But
don't
I would
really know.
rather focus on the Jalen Carter than Jalen Carter, Davis, N'Kobe Dean. Like it's a mean. It was a
Mm.
perfect storm last year. So and we know the weakness of Georgia. The weakness of Georgia is the DBs. They're great. They are
You say
great.
that, right? But I think if you run the ball and keep us on this, if you score fast, you kind of playing into our hands. You really want to keep the ball away from us and just keep the ball yourself and run the
It's going
ball
to
and
be
run the
interesting
clock.
because Ohio State defense, remember, is top 5, top 10.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah. You're right. They've been playing a whole bunch of Purdue's and Ohio, Iowa States, and they've been playing a bunch of Northwesterns and who else up there in the Big Ten that they play against?
Penn
Cincinnati,
State,
probably somebody. Yeah, they play against a lot of those teams, my
Michigan
boy.
State,
But that is the weakness for UJ. I can't lie. The secondary is the only thing that you. But do
and
you have time for CJ Stroud to sit back there and get those passes down the field? That's my
that's going
only
to be the
question.
and that's going to be the thing. It's going to be can you hold off, you know what I'm saying, that pass rush to get the guys open. But cuz they play a lot of man, Georgia plays a lot of man with the corners and like they'll keep a safety deep.
That's it. We
The
playing man
safety
up, man ball,
But them
straight up.
safeties, them safeties can go sideline to sideline. So it's very you have to have a kind of Bryce Young SEC championship type of game where your guy and you're already missing one of your receivers. Smith and Jibba is out, so that leaves you with Marvin Harrison. I'm sure they have another speedy guy. They got receivers, but they they hold.
Better not send him across the middle. If Marvin Harrison is your only wide receiver, you better not send him across the middle. We'll
Yeah,
take that.
they
We'll take
better.
that 15-yard penalty to
Yeah.
go ahead and get him out of the game. You better ask Kyle Pitts.
Oh, disgusting, disgusting. All right, man. We gotta
We got to
bring
watch
in
Kels, man. Let's bring Kels on, man. Let's see.
Kels,
Oh, we
man.
got two guests. Oh, we got a special guest. He got somebody with him. That's what's
Okay.
happening. We
Let's
love man. Boy. Oh, you got to fix the board, KB.
there you go.
It's my daughter. Hey, how y'all doing? Happy New Year.
What's
Hey,
Happy New
happy
Yeah.
New
Year's?
Year.
What's up to the
What's up,
Yeah.
princess?
princess?
Yes, it's Princess Zuri. This is the guys. Yeah.
Well, she ain't having it. Kel, what you think about this
Yeah.
game today, man? Come on, man. Georgia versus Ohio State. What you think?
I like Ohio State to take the L to Georgia, probably by maybe 2 touchdowns. A lot of things with Ohio State I've seen over the season, the Maryland game was like the big glaring factor of the game, to where like if you have a good squad, a good defense that can hold them, it was very hard for them to get. It was very hard for them to contain Maryland. So I'm expecting Ohio State to win by 2 touchdowns, and plus I think Michigan really exposed them like big time. I know it's a rivalry game and stuff, but
I
you
think
got
it's
dominated 2 years in a row. This ain't no like, okay, this was a fluke kind of thing. They dominated you 2 years in a row. So like the run game, and I think their backup running backs almost ran for like what 300 yards, close to
yep.
300 yards, something like that. So I think the run game is really gonna be the factor of them to control the game in the line of scrimmage.
Ohio State traditionally has two bookend defensive ends that are going to the NFL.
They
Traditionally,
Hmm.
you
they
normally
do.
have they got one.
The
Hmm.
other boys, Jack Sawyer on the other side can easily.
He's unproven. Come on, man. He
He's
had a good game
unproven.
against. He had a good game against some bum teams.
All you
But this
need is
offensive line that they're going against today is probably going to be the best offensive line that Ohio State has seen. Period.
And Bowers, I think Bowers is
Woo.
a matchup nightmare for
Who
them.
guard?
I
Who
really think that
guards?
this is.
Because if you put a linebacker on top of him, he's going to run past him. If you put a
now
safety
that
on top of him, we're going to run right at him. So,
that's the one thing about Ohio State that nobody really talks about like they should. Traditionally, when Ohio State was killing, they had that linebacker. They may not have had two, but they had that one
yeah,
guy. You know what I'm saying? That
But
was a dog, and he
well,
was
yeah,
everywhere. You know what I'm
Laurinaitis,
saying?
AJ Hawk, you had some
Yeah,
linebackers
you
there
had
yeah,
guys who
yeah.
you
that
can
proven.
you can name one
Then they
who
had
can
one.
lock
They had one
down.
recently. Then they, what was his name? He went to the Jets or somebody like that too. When they had that championship year, I
I
can't
know.
think about who it
I
was.
forgot his name. I think I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah,
No,
but
Larry Knight
they
was
don't have
09, 010.
from I didn't watch a lot
Yeah,
of Ohio State games, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no names that are really ringing a bell that they're that guy at middle linebacker. They have the defensive end, the boy that went crazy this year, Sawyer, who's on the defensive end. They always have D tackles who are pretty good. Their front four is usually pretty solid. Their deep Bs usually are pretty good. They just didn't always have the coaching, so there would be like little gaps and stuff here. with Ty
Hmm.
Bowles back there, with the coaching. I believe that's their DC. Uh,
Who?
it's Ty Bowles, right?
Hell
No,
no.
that's
Todd Bowles, the
no,
coach
that's
at the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Do
Oh,
you
Yeah.
I'm
think
tripping.
Todd Bowles' son would have picked
What's
Georgia if he was the
what is my
coach
man's
at
name?
Ohio State?
No, what's my man's name that he left
You got
Oklahoma
no.
State and he's the DC.
Oh, okay. I don't
I know
know
what you're
you.
talking about. I can't
I
remember
know
his
you.
name
I
off
don't
the top
know
of
his
my head.
name, but I know who you're talking about.
But the defense looks night and day better. It's just like I say, they got caught a few times, so it's going to be interesting to see what Munchkin draws up.
But yeah, Ohio State struggles against good defenses. Even though they beat Notre Dame, they were struggling with Notre Dame as well. Like when you have like people who can match up with them, you don't. Ohio State just I don't know. And
Ohio State today,
Stroud
two
would throw
read offense.
interceptions.
That's why their
Stroud,
quarterbacks don't do anything in the league because they are a two read offense. I think they do mirror concepts. They want to do the same thing on each side of the field, run the same concept. The quarterback has to pick the side that the coverage doesn't roll to, and he attacks
Mhm.
that side. You can't do that when you have four cornerbacks who all can run. Like you can put in Julian Humphrey, who probably played one game this year, and run with your fastest receiver, and just run with him. like
I really think Stroud is going to be running for his life pretty much the whole game.
he
That Georgia front four is nothing to play with.
he better be a dual threat today.
He's
Today ain't the
gonna
day
have
to
to
sit
be
in the
on
pocket.
his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it don't do them no justice that they playing this game in Atlanta. You know what I mean? That don't do. We already it's so red downtown. It's crazy. You know what I
Hey
mean?
man, they
I,
all ain't getting in the building though.
there are a lot of them. A lot of over 70% of tickets that went to Georgia
Ohio
game.
State red too, so it's like a
Like I
home
just
game.
said, over 70% of ticket sales have went to Georgia fans. So
Mm,
a lot of Ohio
Yeah.
State
Well,
can't even get down here. It's snowed in. They can't get here. So
mm. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good one, man. I don't.
I'm taking
I
all
think CJ.
bets.
I
Taking
think
all
CJ
bets.
Stroud is a bit
he said,
overrated. I think
yeah,
this
Stroud
game is
is.
going to show me if he's truly overrated or not. If he's just another system Ohio State quarterback, or if he's really one of the better
Did
ones to come out.
the
Because
Michigan games didn't show you? The Michigan games didn't show you? The Maryland game didn't show you? Or the Notre Dame game didn't show you he was overrated? They
now, I
struggle
mean, that's
against good
why I
defenses.
feel like
Listen,
he's overrated. I do feel like that. But if he goes
Hmm.
out and he balls out today, then I'd be like, all right, I can see you
listen,
being a third
Okay.
quarterback.
listen, man. Listen. It the game today. I expect for it to be a close game for probably maybe the first quarter, 2 quarters,
One and a
but
half.
late into the third, bro. I don't even expect that game to be close. But I'm never gonna discount Ohio State, man. They got all the tools to win it. I just think that we ready. You know what I mean? I think that we ready. We ready to do
What
our thing. This is Kirby
what
moment.
team?
This is Kirby's time. This is Georgia time. I told
Hmm.
y'all when the season started that we were
I picked
going.
Georgia to win.
I'm telling you. I
I picked
told
Georgia to
KB
win.
Fad 2 years that this our time. He got to sit on the sideline and wait. We're gonna show him how Tebow should have did it. We're gonna show them how Urban should have did it.
Yeah, man, we got to.
And
We
Nick
good.
Saban,
Yeah.
Nick Saban, get what Saban? It's your time over. You old. Go on,
Can
move
I
to the
get
side. It's over
Can
with.
I give a shout out real quick? Shout
Yeah,
out
go
to
ahead.
Pele.
Go ahead.
He just passed like 2 days ago. People
Oh
throw the
yeah,
word gold around. People throw
yeah.
the gold word gold around, but Pele won three World Cups in like in about 12 years. So shout
Yeah,
out
Bro,
to
yeah,
him. People
respect
we
used
that.
to
knew
go and
him.
gold so much.
We knew
Yeah,
about
man.
soccer because of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People knew about soccer because of him. So, yeah, you talk
Hmm.
about goats. That's definitely what you mean.
All right,
Uh,
man. So look, man, we're gonna rotate because we don't want to be on here too long, but we're
Yeah.
gonna be here a nice time, man. Uh, Ed Reed to Bethune Cookman. They swag now, right? Bethune is swag, I believe.
think
They
so.
left the MEAC.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Oh no, they're the
Hey,
MEAC.
man.
I think they still. I think they still the MEAC. I think they might switch over to SWAC. Don't quote me
I
on that
think
though.
yeah, something about that. But but how y'all feel, man? Ed Reed, you got the big name. He in Florida. So as a Miami fan, how do you feel? Because now them players that came to Miami for that relationship with Ed Reed that may not be too happy with Mario. they can go to Bethune because Bethune's always been a respected HBCU program, regardless of who the coach was.
I love it. I'm glad that Eric Reed finally got a chance to go ahead and coach. I know they was talking about he wanted to see like his son finish high school and stuff. Then he's going to go ahead and coach. So I really like it for Ed Reed. And like I said, he's been an advisor, so he's been around Miami or just around the coaching for I think what a couple years. So it's good to finally get that he gets his chance. I just hope that people don't think because he's a great that he needs to live up to Dion's expectations. Those are like night and day in my personal opinion. That's night and day. You got to give that man that time. He's gonna get recruits. He's Ed Reed. He's the best free safety of all time in my opinion. So
Yes.
he's gonna get recruits and stuff like that. But y'all just got to give him that time to build.
I honestly, now this ain't a hill that I necessarily going to die on, but
Hmm.
I think he's probably will have more success on the field than Prime does. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, Prime went undefeated and stuff like that. This year he never won the Celebration Bowl. You know, he has two SWAC championships, which is good. But
No
man,
natties.
he's gonna get guys, like he's gonna get players. His staff is he's gonna build a staff, like, and the only thing that he doesn't have necessarily is the quarterback that knows the system, and that may
Hmm.
put them behind a little bit because Shador been playing the same system since he was
Yeah.
there.
You
You know what I'm
gotta have
saying?
that
So
quarterback. You gotta have a quarterback. Remember when Prime left, he told them the one nugget I'll give you guys: get a quarterback that can throw the ball. So I
yeah,
think as long as Ed Reed can get that quarterback, and it ain't got to be a 5-star guy, it ain't got to be a 4-star guy. As long as you get a guy who can, like you said, throw the ball, I think
Hmm.
Bethune Cookman can compete. I think he'll. I don't
man,
think he'll have a problem getting them athletes out of Florida. I really
I
don't. I think he'll
it's
have
gonna be
a.
a problem. It's
I
gonna be
think he'll
it's
be able to steal players, just like Travis Hunter was stolen from Florida State.
yeah.
And I
Yes.
think
You
Prime will
got them
have. I
Florida
think Ed
boys.
Reed will have that type of effect where he can go in your living room, sit down with your mama, and he can win her over. And if
And
mama
see,
you
and they
win
can
mama
stay
over, you gonna
home.
get
And they can stay home.
it.
Bethune
And it's an
cooking, you know what it
HBCU.
is. You know what the
It's
vibe. I've been in Bethune cooking for a weekend. You know the vibes. You know what it is.
homecoming.
I have too.
You know what
Go
it
to
is.
bed.
You know what it is.
I ain't not
So
kids. Don't get yourself in trouble over there now.
right, long
Yeah.
time ago.
That
Long
was a
time
high
ago.
school,
Oh,
but
oh
that
five,
was
oh
way
six,
before
oh
then.
five, oh six.
So
I ain't beat that's the 2012. But yeah, man. You know, this is you're the same effect that the Jackson State thing had. Now he might not get the showmanship of the prime of the Dion, because Dion's a salesman. He a talk trash, you know what I'm saying? Ed Reed is more of a buckle up, knock your head off type DB. So he might not be the
I don't know,
personality of a
Dion. I
Dion.
don't know, Prime. I mean, Ed Reed got a personality too. Now I don't think he
no,
showcased
hold
it
on.
as much as Prime, but Ed Reed is him and
It's
Prime is he's not Prime. It's only one Prime. There's never be
right.
another.
It's only
Oh,
one
Eddie
Ed
Kane
Reed.
ain't too far. He call himself
Right.
Eddie Kane. No, Eddie
I
Kane
mean,
ain't too far
if
away.
you starting the defenses of all time, that's your corner and that's your safety. I don't
No,
care
yeah,
who you
yeah,
If
yeah. Ed Reed
if
is
Tom
definitely best safety
listen,
of all time.
if Tom Brady says that the hardest person that he had to go against is Ed
is.
Reed
Ed
because he
Reed.
couldn't figure him out, that's saying something for one of the goats. And then also, I think he's gonna bring in the talent too, as far as like not even 5 stars, but just like quality players because everybody
Bro,
forget before the ranking systems, Ed Reed was a 2 star. Like the stars matter, but it don't matter because if you put that work in, you can
bro.
take off.
Dion, you have to remember, Dion had to fight and argue and campaign to get kids to come to Jackson, Mississippi.
Hmm.
Mhm.
He Ed Reed ain't gotta convince kids to say in Orlando or Daytona, wherever, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Daytona.
They don't have to, he don't
You ain't
have
gotta
to
do
put
much.
on for them guys to stay down to come down the road. Like, yo, come to the beach. You want to come party? You want to have all that? You still got your Florida, you still got your family. Keep your goals, keep your locks, keep your chains. Come down. You know what I'm saying? I got goals too.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? And what are you gonna do? Like, if you're a 4-star guy and you're looking like, all right, man, yeah, I can go to Miami, be a rotation guy. I can go to Florida, UCF, or I can go to Bethune Cookman and
Mhm.
get 9, 10 of us and go down and just start knocking heads. They got the contract. he can prove the hey man, we got the ESPN contract for what
Oh yeah, you gonna
30 was
yeah.
it 10 years or something
To
like
10
that
years,
Dean already
10
got.
years.
You already got ESPN. You know, Game Day is willing to do the HBCU. Like Prime really laid the blueprint and laid the proof to people like, yo, we should go to some of these HBCUs. That energy was crazy. So, but then he got the name, they got the uniforms, they got the chrome, they got the building.
Unfortunately, I think the University of Miami is going to have a leg up on a lot of these coaching jobs. A lot of those guys want those 90 Miami swagger type head coaches. I think you'll have a Warren Sapp might be able to jump out there at one point and be a coach. You have a
Ooh,
lot of those guys. What's his name? The wide receiver, Reggie Wayne, is already working on
yeah.
being a coach. A lot of them 90s Miami guys, you're going to start being coaches, especially these HBCU levels and
But
stuff
how
like that.
many are going to be in Florida? That's
I
the
mean, you don't have to
question.
be. I think you'd be in the South. I think you'd be in the South. In the South,
Yeah,
period, you'll win.
Yeah,
but
a lot of them
but
from New Orleans. Like I think Ed Reed's from New Orleans, and what you
Yeah,
call
he's
the
from New
Richard
Orleans.
Ray.
yeah, but
So
it's about where your brand is. That's the reason why that the idiot ran for governor in Georgia, even though he lived in Texas. They know what it is. It's where where did you know what I'm saying? What are you most known for? You know what I'm saying?
listen, I expect Ed Reed to at least recruit some, definitely some safeties. Like this is one of the best safeties. Like I said, I know Jacob saying he think or but yeah,
Well,
it's
who
not even
better?
close.
Who's a better free safety? I mean,
Right.
Nobody, in my opinion.
what are you
From
gonna
But
say,
but
Steve Atwater or
from
something?
a Cowboys fan, he gonna say
Oh, come on now. Who?
please stop.
Roy Williams. That's the best safety I can remember for the Dallas Cowboys.
The only
he'll
one I
bring
can say
somebody.
came close to him is what Rod was it Rod Wilson or Darren Wilson? I can't remember his name. That's the
Rod,
only one that could close to for
Yeah,
Ed
Rod
Reed.
Wilson.
But besides that, Ed Reed
I
was
think they
too
had both.
smart.
Darren
It was
Wilson
so
too.
good.
Either way, ain't none of them messing with Ed Reed is
Nowhere,
the top
nowhere
safety
near
of
close.
all time. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Him and Troy Polamalu played. They probably two of the best out of the top
Uh,
three.
Lot. I might say Lot. I might say
Yeah,
Wilson.
my bad,
Hold
my
on.
bad, my bad.
Hold on.
Ronnie Lott.
Hold
I was
Yeah,
thinking
I'm gonna take
on.
Rod. I'm taking
I put
Rod
Ronnie
Wilson.
Lott.
Or what? No, I'm taking Charles Wilson over.
That's a
Yeah,
corner.
He a corner.
he played safety,
He
corner,
played safety.
He
Like
played
linebacker.
he was all
safety.
down.
He played safety with Green Bay like his later years. I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
count
yeah.
that
He
one.
was
I don't
safety. He
count
was
that one.
a Heisman winning cornerback. When the last time somebody did that?
I'm
Count
pretty
Bailey
sure.
shouldn't have won. He got cheated.
But
Yeah.
Ed Reed, man, Ed Reed
No
and
dollars.
Bethune Cookman is going to be a great look, man. Um, so to segue, I do want to bring up some things, man. This is the New Year's Eve podcast, that
Hmm.
episode. Like I said, we've been doing this since May. I want to say April,
Yeah, man.
May, something like that. We've had some special guests come by. I wasn't able to, you know what I'm saying, work my camera magic because my phone just doesn't do that. But either way, I wasn't able to work the magic. But I do want to shout out the guests we've had, man. Our first ever guest actually was Herbert Moore. Shout out to Herbert Moore,
Yeah,
Trench Mob.
Hmm.
You know, he's
yeah.
coaching now. He still has his Trench Mob. They're still doing their thing. He played at Ole Miss. He was up there with the
Okay.
Condichis and the whole time when they was up doing their little charts and stuff. He was right there in the midst of it. So shout
That
out to
was
him.
our first guess,
He
man.
was
Yeah.
our very first guest. After that, we had Bryce Lovett. He actually came on
Shout
twice.
outs to him.
Shout out to Bryce. He came on
Bless you.
before he knew he was
Bless you,
going,
baby.
and then he came on after he committed to
So thank
Florida.
you.
Great kid, great family.
Shout out to
Um,
him.
yeah, man. Shout out to Bryce. Touchdown. Tony Green came on here.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? From
Touchdown,
what's
Tony from Griffin High School.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Tony, man. We definitely had Tony on. Looking for Tony to do big things next year, man. Real big things. They got to get a whole new coaching staff in Griffin, man. They got them jokers up out of there. So
yeah, man. They gonna get
That's what's
make
up.
sure they get Tony right. After that, we had a defensive lineman from the beach from Kempsville. We had Mr. Sean Sanders.
Sean
So shout out
Sanders.
to him. I stayed in contact with him. He's actually about to make his decision. He has a
Okay.
top four right now of Virginia State, Emory, Christopher Newport, and Seton Hall. So
Okay.
so he's deciding on where he wants to go. So shout out to him because remember he was looking for the scholarship offer. So they've been rolling in. He made all Tidewater again, both offense and defense.
Okay.
All state. So the boy can ball, man. Shout out to Devon Wiggins, homeboy from high school, Lansdowne. They didn't go to the playoffs, but they started off really strong. They started off
Mhm.
they laying the ground, the foundation. So shout out to him. Um, your boy Jordan Young Humphrey, UNLV.
Yeah,
Oh
UNLV running
yeah.
back. He got
Shout
one
out
more
to the
season
homie.
eligibility, man. Next year he'll be the man, playing full
Yeah,
year. So ready
yeah,
to rock and
yeah,
roll, man. We gotta
yeah.
check in with him and get back with him. I'll reach back out to him, man, see how he doing. I know the season over now, so he should have some time to get back
Right.
on, man, and chop it up with us.
Okay.
Exactly. Coach Watson from Norfolk State. We ain't forget the invite. Believe me, we're gonna use that thing. But shout out to Norfolk State. He recruiting every Friday, scholarship offer Friday. I see it on the timeline. He be he be working, trying to get them dogs.
I see him, man. I
Mhm.
see him. He definitely working.
Right. And then and Demir Franklin, man. So we had him on the last week, the 3-star from Southern Georgia. He came on, was talking to us about the recruiting process. He actually committed to Alcorn State.
Yep.
Okay.
Shout out,
So
man.
shout
Congrats.
out
Shout
to
out
him.
Alcorn
Um,
State. Yes,
he's
sir.
gonna be one to watch. He's at Alcorn State after a year. Watch it. That boy might hit the
Get that
portal.
boy.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I'm just speculating, but he's a guy that I think when he's going to get in, he's going to do damage because he made all district and all state and top wide receiver, all that stuff again. He going to show out of Alcorn and he might hit that portal, my boy, and you might see his name on ESPN somewhere.
I don't feel
Uh,
go to Florida.
hey man, come on to Florida, my boy. Come on
Man,
while the money getting's good, my boy.
do we
We
got a
got
four
one.
person?
Look,
Do we got
we
a
got
four
one.
person layout, bro?
Huh?
Did we
Hopefully.
make it? Did we have a four
No,
person?
we ain't got a 4-person layout, man. So he's just gonna have to
Yeah.
not be on the show today.
Hold on. Hold on. Before I go, I'm gonna say shout out to y'all because y'all start this platform, and not only that, like you said, y'all got people now that went to Florida and now going to big school states. You know that networking thing is pretty huge. I'm proud of y'all. Keep it up, man. It's only
Man,
gonna get bigger
appreciate it,
for
bro.
toe to toe with stuff like that. And
Boy, you
Appreciate
just
it.
don't
recently,
know.
Before you
Appreciate it.
go, so we're gonna talk about this with Perk. Um,
okay.
give me your ranking of the Florida schools right now.
If I have to be non-biased,
Yep.
Florida State because the transfer portal was like a big story
They had
and one of the
success.
biggest of the years. They're very successful. Number two has to be UCF. I mean, they went out 9-5. They beat Florida last year. Third is Florida because they went to a bowl game. We're gonna see how like the recruiting process with Rashada and stuff goes. Like, see how like everybody comes in. Of course, my team is fourth. Yes, I put my foot in my mouth earlier this year, so I'll take that L. But we will come back and recruit. We came back and recruited pretty hard. So like, it should be no
Yeah,
excuses next year. You
yeah,
hit
you're
like your
right.
offensive lineman. You hit your offensive lineman, your running backs, your DBs, possibly. Hopefully, the guy comes. But you've hit a lot of your
Bro,
addressing
yeah.
areas. You
I
need to get a
forgot.
wide
He still ain't
receivers
signed yet.
and stuff too. So yeah, in that order, you know, that's not biased. Being honest.
Well, that's a bad man. We'll get back with you, man. We get Kels on, man. We unfortunately we'll be switching over to basketball season soon, man. So
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah.
we'll
Oh
have to
yeah. I'm a
switch over.
basketball dude too. So
Yeah,
that's my first love. So it don't matter. Just let brother know.
yeah, man. We're gonna swap
Oh,
it over, man. We're gonna have to
All
start
right.
incorporating that NBA into this thing too, man. So,
Say
bro, we
bye.
appreciate you. Bye, baby girl. Bye,
All right.
princess.
bye bye, little
I'll,
lady.
I'll be commenting. All right.
All right, bro.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
you watching.
No problem.
All right, man. Bring this guy on here, man. This guy.
Brother
So
Harry,
what's in it?
oh man, he calling us from the Bentley truck. Oh man. Oh no, he ain't in the Bentley truck today.
Oh,
He in
that's
the
the Jeep. That's the Jeep, ain't it?
yeah, he in the yeah.
Yeah, man. I know it when I see it, boy. I want one of them things.
He on the Jeep on them
Yeah, man.
35. He sitting on them 35s.
Hey,
You
boy,
know what
that's
that
when you
mean. You
made it.
know what that mean. If you know what that mean, you know what that mean when he's sitting on them 35. Anything above 30, hey, cost a little money. You gotta change
Hey.
everything up under that thing. What's up, Perk?
What's going on, man? I'm in my Jeep Gladiator, Gator color. The name of the color is Gator Green. Look
Hey,
that up.
I like it. That's
What's
how you
going
start
on?
the day.
Then, but man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Perk been rocking with us all year long, for real, man. So we definitely
For sure.
appreciate Perk, man. Perk, man, give us your take, man. What's going on this year? What's going on right now that you think hot right now, man? What you want to talk about? We want to open the floor for you. Since you say you coming on here to go toe to toe with us, I think you want to talk about the SEC versus ACC record in the bowl games. I think.
Nah, man, I want to talk about this. What I got to go toe to toe with, especially KB over there with his Gator banner in the background. Look, man, the discussion was about we try to figure out who is the best conference, not team, not who got the elite team, conference team, top to bottom. If your team is in that conference, it counts towards that conference. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's why we have bowl games, because guess what they do? They put teams in one conference against the other, and they're usually similar record type of teams for the most part. Now, at the end of that, you got a bowl record. That bowl record got to stand for something. Now, KB say that what you said, the star rating. Look, man, none of that.
Go ahead.
We can't count star rating and who got drafted from the NFL. How many players drafted in the NFL? That ain't got nothing to do with who's the best conference, because the bowl. That's what SEC. You can't say and it differs every year. It differs every year. You can't say, the level of competition that we play is elite compared to everyone else, and then you 1-4 in bowl games. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, I give Florida, there are exceptions now, because you got Florida who flipped their whole team and nobody, you know what I'm saying? So I can, they lost to Oregon State, which was a good team. That's expected. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But we can't talk star quality and players drafted when these teams go head to head and play each other. And then the 1-4, that was, the one win was the Kansas game in triple overtime. But Tennessee didn't beat Clemson.
None of our heavy hitters have played yet, though. None of our heavy hitters.
That's true.
That's true. We're just gonna let him get his thing off. Go ahead. I'm gonna let him.
Right. Steve-O, you're right. None of the heavy hitters have played yet, right? Mm-hmm. But we talking. It ain't over yet, so they could not lose another game in it, And then, hey, get what I gotta say.
They not.
I'll say that.
There is not another SEC team that's gonna lose in a bowl game. And do you know why though? Do you know why? Do you know?
Well, Kentucky might go down.
You gotta beat the man.
You gotta beat the man.
I'm talking in present times. In present times, it ain't looking good. But think about it. You said none of the heavy hitters ain't played, right? And I get that. But your 6-win SEC team has played a 6 or 7-win team over there in another conference. It's still similarly matched.
There's only what 3, 4. There's 3 bowl games that have played this year the SEC was involved in that was similar teams. Florida was 6-7. Oregon State was 9-3. I don't even know why they got matched up. That doesn't even make sense to me. Missouri was 6-7. Wake was 7-5. Kansas was 6-7.
That's similar.
We're talking about Missouri.
But overall, at the end of the day,
hold on. Who you just said? Missouri. Who else you said? Arkansas.
Yes.
Missouri. Who you said? Missouri, Arkansas, and who else was in the bowl game for the SEC? Florida.
Florida.
Come on, bro. Ain't none of them teams.
But look though. It ain't like Missouri played Clemson. They played, you know what I'm saying? They played what's similar in the other conferences.
All right, so
but here's the thing. The thing I have is this.
Shout out to that boy Frog.
Now, shout out to Frog, man. A 6-6 team, SEC team, is 6-6 or 7-5 SEC team will go in the ACC and win the conference. That's the type of talk I've been hearing now. Oh, they'll go in the Pac-12. They don't play no defense in the Pac-12, so a 7-win SEC team is compete for a championship in that other country. Is that not what was being said? So now,
that is what was said.
So if a 7-5 SEC team play a 7-5 ACC or Pac-12 team, they should win. They should dominate, according to what I've been hearing. That's all I'm saying.
Are you
I'm not
done?
making any proclam. No, one more thing. I'm not making any proclamations. I'm just saying that what's being said is not is not. I'm not saying what's being said. I'm
I
done now.
got you. I
Talk
got
to
you.
me.
All right. So while you made a very good argument, right, for the bowl thing, very good argument. I understand it. Bowl games have to be taken with a caveat, okay? Because unfortunately, how it's been the last 3, 4 years, really, unless you're playing for the conference playoff, and even now, kids starting to opt out of the conference playoff. But for the last 3 or 4 years, guys have been opting out um, of the playoffs. That portal bowl games just aren't what they used to be. So when you have a team uh, like a let me go back. When you have a team like a random Oregon State, right? When they say, "Oh, we're going against the SEC team," Oklahoma State, they're not looking at Florida like, "Okay, yeah, man, y'all guys did have 40 in the portal and left the team." They're looking at this is the SEC team.
I gave y'all that
Period.
game. I gave y'all that.
So
I gave y'all
so
that game.
these teams step up like because like you have a lot of other conferences have that gripe of the SEC being the big bad
Bias.
boys on the block.
SEC
So they
bias.
so they they're already pumped up to play against these guys way more than SEC is to play against them. It
So
happens
you saying
every
we
year.
just interested in these cheesy bowls and
Come on,
It,
man.
it, it,
the
just, it just is what it is.
midday
So
bowls?
Come on, man.
So,
Come on.
Yeah.
but let's talk about. But we're going to talk about because that's one aspect. So you can even, I can even give you that W on that. The bowl games to why SEC isn't as elite as. There's no other conference who you can really point to, but they're just not as elite as people would say. All right, I'll
Because
give you that one. Right?
nobody can beat our top teams.
There's nobody. There's no other team. There's no other conference who just goes out and demolishes. I mean, you can say like the Big 12 because they play against other places
Who?
like that. But let's look at the schools that have made the bowl or just the conferences that have made bowls. The the SEC put out 11 teams. That means 11 teams were bowl eligible. The next closest was the Big 10 with 9. Then the Pac-12 with 7, Sun Belt with 7, Big 12 with 8. So at the end of the day, SEC has more teams who are better than other teams in their conferences. We make guy and we play at SEC heavy schedule. We have three. Usually teams have 3 non-conference games. So that means they're winning those 3, and they're winning 3 other games within the conference, enough for 11 teams to make a bowl. That's one. Now, looking at ratings coming out of the high school, we're not saying that their ratings justify them being good in college. We know that isn't always true, but you have to be able to grade guys or grade a program when you look at it. When you look at the national championships out of the last 20 years, every team has finished a top 5 recruiting except one, which was, I want to say LSU, I believe, one year.
They
But
took
other
their
than that,
team from Ohio State. That don't count.
but other than that, every team that's won a natty in the last, I want to say 20 years has had top 5 classes. Those classes are ranked on what? Stars from the kids, ranking on their talent. The SEC has more talent coming in on a yearly basis than any other conference. That's just how they're rated. At the end of the day, you have to rate these kids. That's how you keep a measuring stick on talent per team. So then you also have the success of guys leaving the program. So when the guys come to the SEC, they're getting drafted out the SEC as well. And SEC drafts way higher than any other conference. You can put a conference, all the other conferences together, and they probably still won't meet how many guys have been drafted out of the SEC. NFL guys don't care about SEC bias. They care about how you play compared to the level of what? Competition. That's why guys go to the SEC because that's where the competition is.
That's
So when
why
you say
Dion
that a
didn't go to
conference,
the SEC.
so when,
Dion
right.
ran from that job.
So that's why so did Lincoln Riley. He ran from that thing. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily saying the SEC is just this big bad powerhouse gauntlet of teams.
It
Every
is.
team every conference has the cream of the crop. Then you have dirt trash.
Who the
Then you have
ACC cream of the crop?
Clemson.
Clemson. They got
That's
their ass
it.
whooped last night. Didn't
Clemson
Clemson?
is the only team the ACC has to hang their hat up on. If Clemson doesn't make the playoff or even finish top 10, who else is it? Nobody. It changes every year. It may be Pitt, it may be UVA, it may be North Carolina.
Misunderstanding,
Beating the hell out of Clemson last night. Like they
So,
have a
at the end of
misunderstanding.
the day, there's no other conference who has the star rating as far as the caliber of players coming into their conference, the amount of draft picks leaving their conference, you know what I'm saying, and the success. You look at a lot of award winners and things like that. The Heisman's, they've been coming out of what? The SEC. Now, Heisman Trophy, I think is trash because it's a quarterback award. So at the end of the day,
Bennett should have won the Heisman Trophy this year.
But often, who's winning these awards? It's a lot of SEC teams. So it's not an SEC bias when it's only so much that can be SEC bias. It's only so much. So while you have that one time you say bowl record, sure, you can have your one argument of bowl record, but it doesn't supersede the NFL talent coming out of the SEC, the high school talent going into the SEC, the award winning that's coming out of the SEC. That's just the case of it. Now, sure, you have your Georgias who are great, and you have your Vandys who are absolutely trash. So Vandy will go to the ACC and probably be the 8th team in the ACC, realistically. Clemson could leave the ACC and come to the SEC, and they'll be a top 4 team.
Kelvin, you watch your mouth. Don't you disrespect Tavius Bennett.
Ohio State Ohio State could come to the SEC, and they would be a top 5, top 3, probably top 2 team. Realistically, top 2, top 3.
If they'd be second in the East, if they came to the East, they'd be second in the East.
For sure. Absolutely.
They might win the West.
But I tell you, if Florida went to the ACC, we win that hoe. That would be us and Clemson.
Oh, he said Florida would win the ACC if they win right now.
So listen, this is what I'm talking about right here. Now, you mean to tell me best conference, to me, best conference is who has the best teams, top to bottom in that conference. There is no better argument for the best conference outside of bowl record. We ain't talking about
the top 25 standings at the end of the season.
But listen, that's my point. That's my point. You're basing best conference off of everything off the field. Who's ranked in the top 25? Who got the best players? Who got drafted? So forth and so on.
They get ranked by the what play on the field and their level of competition.
What happened? How do you gauge level of competition? If level of competition is correct, like you say, it would be shown in the bowl records when they play other conferences.
The level of competition goes based off of your opponent's roster of talent. So when you have a Tulane who plays against Old Dominion, right? But then you have a Florida team who plays against a LSU. Who team do you think is playing the better talent?
I mean, you're picking, you're cherry picking.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you an example. Tulane did very well. TCU played against good talent this year, correct? They had some marquee games.
Florida lost to Vanderbilt, so I don't know.
Yeah, we lost to Vanderbilt. We sucked this year. We sucked last year. Very true. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, when you look at the other teams that you're playing against and their success, you're looking at, okay, this team, the blue chip ratio, you're looking at how many guys. You look at Georgia, they have 5 stars at every position. So technically, you have to account for something.
No,
you have to say,
stop lying. Kirby developed talent too. Don't just say you just have 5 stars.
Yes, you have 5 stars who developed.
So you mean to tell me that in the season where Kobe averaged 30-some points a game, they gave the MVP to Steve Nash. That means Steve Nash better because he won the MVP. Cause that's what you sound like to me.
We all know
okay,
that. Yeah.
Okay, we got to go by what happens on the field. Awards, star rating. It's plenty of 5 stars.
You still have to be able to gauge your opponent. You still have to be able to gauge because if that's the case, non-conference teams would make it over one-loss teams all the time. It's teams that go undefeated that haven't made top 4. There's teams that have lost 1 game, but because they're playing against Louisiana, Lafayette, and because they're playing against Tulane and they're playing against Miami, they don't get the respect level that they do against playing against a top team. So that's why when you have teams like Florida, like when Florida scheduled
through Miami in there.
No, listen. When Florida schedules a Michigan week 1 or they schedule a Utah week 1, that's going to look better as far as strength of schedule versus if they would have scheduled Bethune-Cookman and then somebody else week 1 and week 2.
Another one.
It just looks better.
Well,
The strength of
you better
schedule
not.
matters.
You better not schedule Middle Tennessee State. I tell you that.
Them boys is mean, boy. I hope it ain't no home and home. I hope it wasn't no home and home schedule.
Dion about to find out. Don't worry about it. Him and Shador about to find out. Him and Shador about to find out. That competition does matter, bro.
But at the SEC, as far as the SEC, as far as championships, sure, you can have your championship. But are they as dominant as they once were? No, the SEC isn't as dominant as once were because you can easily name 2 or 3 from every conference except the ACC who are being real.
Florida State said they'll beat anybody right now.
Look. I wouldn't even say about, but listen, I wouldn't even say about that because he said that Clemson is the only team. Florida State won 10 games, beat LSU. Y'all little good little West.
They did.
Okay, so listen.
They had a good year. This year's Pitt. Last year it was Pitt. This year is Florida State. The year before that it was Boston College. What are you talking about?
It changed. So here's the thing. Here's my take. Here's my take on it. You got to gauge best conference on an annual basis. That's with everything. The Rams won the Super Bowl last year. They trashed this year. So that's with anything, especially football. So you got to gauge it on a.
You can gauge success, but it's you can gauge success of teams for per season. But when we're talking about the SEC being the best as far as talent, that means on a consistent basis. Like when you talk about who's been the powerhouse of the last 10 years, you're gonna say Bama. Has Bama won a championship every year?
But
no. But we know they've had the top talent, either 1 or 2, the last few years. No other conference other than maybe the Big Ten.
Bama is not a conference. Bama is a team. Bama is a team, not a conference.
Right. A team we're talking about success, but the only conference who can even remotely have a conversation of who can stand close to the SEC is the Big Ten. That's the only conference who could potentially say we have our top level guys because you have and really it's just because the 1 year because they have Ohio State, Michigan State had success last year, but they were kind of iffy this year. Penn State usually has success, you know what I'm saying? But they're like a middle of the team. But Ohio State is their guy. Out the SEC, it's Georgia and Bama. Georgia and Bama now made LSU, who knows that they're going to be the real deal moving forward. Because, hell, they won the West. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Georgia and Bama. Georgia and Bama are our teams. There's no other conference that has 2 guaranteed that's going to see it all the time, other than the Big Ten, who is Michigan and Ohio State for the most part.
Okay, and I understand everything that you're saying, but to me, you're you're combining seasons together and coming up with this conglomerate of who's the best conference. If you want to say for the last decade, of course, hands down, no questions barred, the SEC is the best conference. But you got to look at this on an annual basis. It ain't every year is different. The NFC East was trash last year. They're a good conference this year. Jacksonville, my team, won 2 games last year. They probably finna go in the playoffs this year. Those 2 seasons, the seasons don't have nothing to do with each other. What Alabama did 5 years ago ain't got nothing to do with who the best conference this year. Because to me, guess who the best conference is? The Pac-12, because they got 6 teams that got 10 wins. To me, the Pac-12.
So you think the Pac-12 is better than the SEC?
This year, as a conference, yes. Look at the teams. Look at the team. Look at the standings first before you look at the standings.
I'm looking at the Pac-12, right?
If they come up and have a winning or a winning bowl season, then yeah, how can you? If you look at the records, stop looking at the teams. Look at the records and look at the bowl records for this year. I ain't got it. I'm not gonna say the Pac-12 last year because last year ain't got nothing to do with this year. It's an annual thing. So I'm not. Yeah, you got this year.
You have to take into account of who they played. So yes,
every conference play each other. Every conference play each other.
They got to win off Rice. They got to win off Stanford. They got to win off Fresno State. Oregon State was a good win. They were a ranked team. Arizona State, I don't even know how they finished the season with a program. Washington State didn't
Who?
even
He said Arizona
exactly.
State.
Arizona,
The
Cal,
Sundays.
Colorado. The only teams that they played were worth a damn this year: Utah,
Oh my God.
UCLA.
They have 5 or 6 teams with 10 wins. How can you explain away that?
Because when
They're
you're playing these other teams who are garbage, you're going to look better. They're not battling week to week. They're not battling week to week. When Florida plays LSU, that's a
all
battle,
right.
regardless of
So
it's a
basically,
battle. Every
based off
week,
based
like
off of
we
your
can compare. Let's compare Florida's schedule, right? To pick a team. We compare our schedule, and I'm picking Florida because I'm familiar
how
with
can
their schedule.
how can you say Florida LSU is a battle, but LSU lost to Florida State, who you said is
Week
wishy
one,
washy,
you think that Florida?
and
But hold
Florida
on, you think that
lost to
LSU
Oregon
team?
State,
You think
and they
that
barely beat
LSU team
Utah.
was the same team week one that they are
I
at the end
don't
of the
care.
year?
They playing in the look. They look. Listen. See, this is what I'm saying. Your
He got
argument.
he
Your
got he
your
got
talk.
yeah.
Listen though. Your talking points are basically when Florida plays LSU. It's just chest pump. It's just chest pumping stuff. Like that doesn't mean anything. Every conference played each other. Tampa Bay plays Atlanta every fucking year. The Saints play the Falcons every year. Whether they're a good team or not, it just depends based off of the year. But they gonna play every year. So I don't. The whole when
Yeah,
Florida plays LSU is gonna be a battle.
Florida did have.
I mean that's every
Brady.
conference. But I don't know how you can explain because guess what? The SEC had 10 teams. 5 teams with 10 wins. Oh, you would be. We got 5. We got. You're gonna be beating your chest. So it's the same thing. It's just every Power Five. It's a power. I'm talking a Power Five company. I'm not talking about Appalachian State or Middle Tennessee State or Bethune Cookman. I'm not talking about them. We talking about a Power Five. We talking about Power Five programs.
All I know
USC.
is you can say they had 10 wins and stuff. That's great. At the end of the day, SEC has 11 teams in bowl games out of 14 teams out of the whole conference. I don't care anything you have to say over that. That just means we have more successful teams in our conference than anybody else over a span of a season. Not one lucky game.
Even hold up.
Span of a
Hold
season.
up. Even if they go in there and they 1-4, 2-4, 2-5, even with that, right?
In the bowl season, hey man, I'm looking at the whole year. So yeah, because we already had the conversation about the caveat with the bowl games. So
No,
you have that.
I mean,
If your
listen.
team can't even make a bowl, that trumps your whole conversation. If your team ain't good enough to make a bowl, what are you talking
No,
about?
we're not talking team. We're talking conference. We're talking
Right.
conference.
We got 11 teams out of a 14 team conference. Like, what is the argument against that?
Okay, so just like the argument you said about we get players drafted in the NFL more, which is true. But if you watch Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, and they say I'm this player from this school, it don't be SEC heavy at all. The players that play and start, it don't be SEC heavy. They be from everywhere. They be from all over. It's drafted. Yeah, I give you that. Drafted, but the players that play in these games, it don't be SEC heavy. So all of this is a result of because if you're a 5-star player and you know this, a quarterback that's drafted in the first round is gonna get 4 or 5 years to mess up. Baker Mayfield is on his 3rd team. He gonna get those opportunities to mess up because he was number 1 pick. If Baker Mayfield, same quarterback, drafted in the 5th round, he would have been at the NFL. That's just how it goes. You're gonna have more opportunities. But
So I just Googled, I just had to fact check you.
Yeah, I'll go.
The conference with the most NFL starters, the SEC has 505, the Big Ten has 381, the ACC has 307, Pac-12 has 298, and that was done 2022. So that conversation, everything you just said, pretty much. All right. We got to keep it moving.
I'm going by when I hear them folks say what schools they went
You
to.
don't watch every game. You don't go watch every game and keep a tally of every person.
No, I don't.
Some of them don't even say some of them don't even say their school. Marco don't say Florida. He say his high school. Half them guys don't even say they.
They don't even claim Florida. Damn.
We don't claim them either. After that shoot toss, it was an amicable. It was an amicable. Have a good life. That boy. After that shoot toss, they still bring that up. So shout out to the shoot toss. All right, man. Look, we're closing down, man. We had a nice thing. It's only right that a Florida Miami guy argue at the end of the year
Lord have
about something
mercy.
that didn't involve Miami.
Oh, they won one more game. Oh wow, and scored a field goal
What
in that
time
one
is
at
the
the
bowl
end.
game come on? Oh, okay.
Whoop de doo.
I thought
How
I
many
missed it.
championships y'all got? How many championships y'all got? How many players y'all have drafted? How many players y'all got drafted in the first round of NFL and all that? Since all that matters.
Here we go. Here we go.
How many times y'all beat us versus we beat y'all? Oh, okay.
It's only right to end the Miami conversation with how many championships y'all win.
There y'all go. There y'all
You
go.
play to win the game. Hello.
All right.
Be the man. You gotta beat the man. And
Oh God, you really making me cry, man. Okay, look.
I appreciate y'all, man. Good conversation, though.
Give me some of you all's favorite sports moments of the year, man. Favorite sports moments of the year.
You know me. You know I already know what I'm gonna say. you don't know what I'm going to name is my favorite moment of 2022. UGA winning the national championship. The Atlanta Braves. Winning the championship. That was last year. Sorry, last year.
You can lump it in. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
the hangover. I get it.
Yeah. But that was UGA winning the national championship in 2022. That's it for me.
For me, Aaron Judge home run, being in the building, being like in that atmosphere, that was one of the craziest sports events that I've been to. Just seeing the whole thing just explode, and my man's was tired. When I say he was over this home run shit, he hit that thing, was like, all right, I can go, I can go sit down, bro. He was done, bro. He was tired. But shout out to being able to witness that, man. I was on the opposite side, so I'm not a millionaire. So I ain't get the ball.
That dude played himself, bro. He played himself out there winning.
You gotta be 1,000 now. Some of you was at the game.
He fell.
What you say first? You gotta be 1,000 now.
You was at the game. You 1,000 now. You might not be a millionaire, but you 1,000 now. Something.
Hey, there you go. What else?
I'm gonna say Steph. For me, it's probably Steph. I'm a Steph fan. I've been a Steph fan since college. So Steph winning that 4th ring, Finals MVP, dominating. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin said. You know what I'm saying? That's probably of this year. Steph and Luka, my 2 favorite players. So you know, seeing Steph getting that 4. Seeing Steph get that 4.
I don't have a real NBA team, but bro, I'm about to be a fan. I'm a LeBron. I'm a LeBron NBA the LeBrons, but I'm about to go ahead and be a Mavs. They right down the street. Luka.
Nah, don't be a Mavs fan. Be a Luka fan, because he may not be there 3 years from now. Just be a Luka fan.
I got to share for one. I got to share for one home team. I don't like any other team. I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Rangers. I don't like the Dallas Stars. So at least
them Cowboys. Woo!
How about them? Shout out to Jacob and them Cowboys. They're gonna get bounced first first game of the postseason. I think another one for me, Jackson State for the HBCU. Jackson State on game day, that was big, man.
Oh man,
I think that was the only one that I actually woke up for to witness and see the, you know what I'm saying?
That was big.
Band marching in and all that. Big. Like that was dope.
I don't think I ever thought I would see that. I don't think I ever thought I would see.
Shout out to KB being from the SIAC, fellow SIAC. Nobody SIAC Savannah State. But yeah, that was big. That was big for HBCUs. So I liked that. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
And Freaky Watson made his return. That was a lot of news.
Is this his norm though? Is he? I gotta give him an off season, but he ain't looking like 280 million guaranteed dollars. I'm just saying.
That was such a Browns move. That was such a Browns move. So
the Ravens might be next. The Ravens might be cornered into this next, though. They might not have a choice.
When you love that, Steve-O, you would love for. I've been hearing the rumblings.
All right, so
That
look,
man is not good.
so
The Ravens not
so
letting that man leave, man.
we gonna predict something, right? So
Nah,
predict. Give me a storyline, a sports storyline that you predict for 2023 to happen.
back-to-back national champions, Georgia Bulldogs.
I really hope they lose. Ooh, I hope they lose.
You better hope so.
Mm.
Who's got hurt?
Cause
That's
you know that show going. We going live. That show. We ain't talking about nothing but Georgia, and I'm gonna reach out to Hines Ward and everybody I can think of, and see if I can get them on the show. But yeah. If Georgia win national championship, just know we're gonna watch play by play. We're gonna break down game play by play, second by second. We're gonna watch the whole game over again that Saturday morning after that. So,
Man, we ain't got that. We ain't got enough time.
but we'll make time. We'll make time.
Ain't enough time. I guess for me, I think I predict that Prime will win about. I think they'll win 8 or 9 games next year.
What?
oh no, no.
He better hope he get to a bowl game. They won one game this year. Now I understand he
There you
brings.
go. I'll say that they'll be bowl eligible.
There
next
you
year.
go. Yeah, he better hope he can get to a bowl because I know he bringing his own luggage. I understand that.
And it's
bringing
Louis.
I'm bringing my own luggage. I understand, but listen, even Travis Hunter ain't gonna make you from 1-11 or 1-9. You gonna turn that around?
I mean, he gonna flip the whole team, so it ain't gonna be the whole team at all. But the Pac-12 tough, man. The Pac-12 tough, man. Like,
I mean, just from a coaching standpoint, you got Lincoln Riley,
Yeah.
Chip Kelly,
Lincoln Riley,
Dan Bailey.
it's
Bo
five.
Nix-
Again,
Bo
it's
Nix is
five
coming
teams.
back. I think
Yeah,
Oregon
Washington-
should be. Oregon won. Yeah, Washington won last night.
Yeah.
They got 10 wins. Utah won the conference. Who they gonna beat? and they open with TCU
Oh yes.
at TCU.
Oh yeah. Oh, you
Come
know
on, man.
boy. You know the boy gonna be empty.
What happens? What happens if Shador goes for 325 yards on
He
TCU and they win?
He better.
What happens?
He will
Are you
prove
gonna
a
be-
lot of
ready
people
for that?
wrong.
Are you ready for
because-
that news? Are you ready for that news cycle? It's going.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy.
Because
It's
I'm gonna
gonna
have
be
to
crazy.
apologize. I will have to come on here.
I
And
will,
apologize.
right? I gonna see it. I see Prime
Me either.
maybe year 3. Maybe year 3. You know what I'm saying? Making a lot of noise, but this first year is gonna be rough. I think so. I mean,
I do too.
it just
I
depends.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough.
Common sense.
But that would be amazing if he did that. If he went and beat TCU at TCU and Shador did that, oh man, they gonna talk about that
game, boy.
game. They gonna be there. They gonna schedule a game day in Colorado the next 2 weeks. If he do that,
Hey, I'm going to that
The next
game.
2
I need
weeks.
to look up the tickets.
You going to that one?
It's in Fort Worth, man. That thing is like 30, 40 minutes from my house.
Oh, that
I gotta go, and I'm
Oh.
wearing. And I don't know. I think I'm just go with a black tee and just call it a day.
Oh, you ain't gonna wear the Florida
Yeah.
Gator jersey? Rock your Gator jersey, you got.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I like going to places where they don't.
just wear your black, man. Support Prime, man. You there?
Yeah,
You
you
there
right,
for this?
you right,
You
you
there
right,
for this
you
right
right.
here? This what you there for? Wear your black tee, man.
Nah, man.
Just keep it neutral.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it neutral. I gotta get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? When I was at when I went to the A&M game, it was a lot of Gator. It was a lot of Gator fans, so I was good. Where I was parked at, I was like, oh wow, it's a lot of us. TCU and that Colorado, I don't know how well they're gonna travel.
You'll have Gilly and Wallow ass out there to help you. That's about it.
They ain't helping. Them boys ain't helping.
Perk, man, give us a prediction for the school. Give us a prediction for the scores today, man. Who you think win today in the score?
I'm gonna give Georgia the edge because of I'm a big fan of storylines and stuff like that. I believe in momentum and energy. I think Ohio State gonna be a tough out, but I'm gonna give it to Georgia because it's really a home game for them for the most part. So I'm gonna give it to Georgia, and I'm gonna give it to Michigan over TCU. I believe TCU escaped. Well, they lost their championship game and they escaped the game before that. So I think Michigan gonna win that game. So I think you're gonna see Georgia and Michigan, and Georgia gonna dominate Michigan.
I can go for it. But bro, we appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate you taking the time out, man. Bro, always supporting, man. He in the behind the scenes group, man, keeping us on our toes. We talking about sports and you know what I mean, chopping it up like barbershop style. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
you ain't the problem, Steve. O. The other one, KB over there. He the problem.
Man, look,
I gotta.
I
He
just
just.
pop in. I just pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. You know what I'm saying? Drop a little screen. Look, I drop a little screenshot and back out.
Man, I
You
appreciate
know what
y'all,
I'm
man.
saying?
Keep doing what y'all doing, man.
hey man, we
Yeah,
appreciate you, bro.
appreciate
Appreciate
it,
you
man.
tuning in, man. Have a good one. Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy
All
New
right, you
Year,
too,
man.
man.
Oh man, that's
All right,
wild.
man. So
That's
look, man, you think you want to tell the people what's coming out 2023 for the boys, man?
what we got going on 2023, man? Just bigger and better things, man. We just moving up. We just gonna keep rolling, man. Keep doing this, man. We actually do this because we enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Ain't no
Yeah.
paycheck came yet. Ain't no bread came yet. You know what I mean? We really get up here and do this thing because we just enjoy talking sports and we just enjoy chopping it up. So, yeah, man, we're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna keep rocking. 2023. Total So Sport, we just gonna keep elevating, bro. We got new logos. We got
Hey,
merchandise coming out,
we got
man.
the
We
merch coming.
listen, bro. We got stuff going that I feel like, man, with the momentum that we building, bro, we doing it the right way, and we gonna take our time and do it right. Like when we
Right,
really get
man.
ready to go sign that Wallow and Gilly deal, bro, we gonna sign
Hey,
that
man.
thing, and you
Look.
know, it's gonna be family and friends. We're gonna have tuxedo, popping balls.
Hey,
It's gonna be
with
an
the
event, bro. We're gonna have
with
a
the T
sign.
with the T2T logo on the back and rhinestone. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro. So
Yeah,
big, yeah, big T cake, man. Look, we're gonna do it, bro. It's coming, bro. It's coming, man. We
yeah,
just gotta
man.
stay down, man. Keep doing it, but
Shout out
uh,
to all of our followers and stuff, man. Shout out to the people that support, the likes, the shares, the comments. Um,
all of
it all helps. It's all appreciated. We definitely see y'all. And again, we appreciate y'all. If you haven't tuned into the YouTube yet, if you ain't subscribed, you need to, man. 2023, we're gonna be doing some weekly segments. We're gonna be popping in, dropping, midweek things, midweek videos that's
content,
only
bro. Content. What my speaker say? You got
content. We
product.
dropping
We got
content.
product over here, bro. We got
We're gonna be
product.
dropping a lot more content on the YouTube throughout the week. So it'll be more than just our video on a Saturday. It's gonna be stuff during the week. Steve, we going Pharrell gotta do his thing, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make sure Steve he have his little something going on that thing, man. So where he can talk about Georgia sports, so I ain't gotta hear it all the time.
Yeah,
So he
it
can get it
is,
out, so he can
man.
get it out of his
Yeah,
system.
man. I
You know
be
what I'm
having.
saying?
I'm going at it, man. Listen, now real talk. You seen my tweets. You be seeing me, bro. These old Atlanta sports media guys, bro. It just went. The city ain't feeling these guys. The city ain't feeling these guys that come up and start talking about, oh, we seen the Falcons back in Barkowski days in 1965. Bro, we don't want all that content no more. We don't want that old, decrepit. Nah, bro, we want interactive. We want to be able to interact, man. Atlanta sports deserves it to have people that look like us talking about our sports because the athletes look like us. Uh, we got to get that. We got to bridge that, bro. A lot of these athletes don't even rock with a lot of the media guys in Atlanta sports. A lot of them have them blocked. Or you can look at like Trey Young dad. Trey Young dad, they got the whole radio station blocked. And I'm like, bro, that's kind of whack. The fact that his man got to block y'all because y'all don't know how to do y'all job in a way that ain't disrespectful to him or make him feel some kind of way about his child. Yeah. I don't want to talk to y'all either if y'all disrespecting my son, if I feel like my son being disrespected on the radio. I don't give a damn if he
Yeah,
does a bad game. He can have 100 bad games. Y'all ain't paying him, so y'all shouldn't be the one who really bringing the critique. You know what I mean? But it's your job. I understand. You got to. We do our job, bro. We up here talking about players. We talk about
yes,
players
sir.
that don't do
You
this
got
thing.
to.
But at the same time, it's a way to do everything. And I think the way that the Atlanta media has been doing, Atlanta sports media has been running things, has just been whack, bro. So I got myself and a couple other guys, man, that want to get out here and really, really get involved in this Atlanta sports media. So we're gonna put that thing together, man. And yeah, man, toe to toe gonna lead the way, though. It's gonna be toe to toe, regardless of whatever I do.
Hey, facts, because
It's always gonna be toe to toe. I rock that banner first. That's the first banner I carry. And
yes, sir.
regardless of whatever else y'all see me on, y'all see me doing, just know Steve O repping toe to toe sports. and that's been the jump that ain't changing. I don't care what I'm on, I don't care what y'all see me on. Y'all gonna see me on there with a toe to toe T-shirt on. So,
Hey, look, I'm
you
trying to
know,
tell you.
it's gonna get advertised regardless, and I'm gonna represent it regardless, man. Cause that's just what it is. So yeah, 2023, man, it's just about elevation. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep getting guests on. We're gonna keep bringing more people on, man, to chop it up with us. We got the group, man. Marcus did go ahead and give us a blessing to take over the group, so we'll have a group.
Hey,
We're adding a lot of our people in and get really the group back right and popping. I think the group was so toxic at one point, man. A lot of people kind of went away from it. So I think a whole rebranding and a redoing of a sports group is needed, and I think it'll be welcomed by the
yeah,
people in the group as well. So we got that popping off, man. Marcus on green lighted that. We just need to change the logo and change everything up. But yeah, man, we here, man. We ain't going nowhere. We here.
yeah.
It's here to stay, man. It's here to stay. It's here to
Shout
stay.
out. I'm also doing one. Shout out to the guys at the War Rapport. They're Auburn group who deal all things Auburn sports. But they started a little pod where we just talk SEC
Everybody well
sports
born.
only, and I'm the Gator representative. It's only on Spotify right now, but the numbers are booming. So shout out to the Amen Corner on Spotify. I believe it's on Spotify and iTunes. But yeah, man, check
Did
that
you say
out.
Auburn?
Yeah,
Did
man,
you
it's a group that Auburn started, man. Hey, man. Yeah, man. They've been doing it for a while. You know, they get on there, man. But one guy wanted to branch out and talk SEC, man. So who better than talk SEC football than your boy? You know what I'm
you
saying?
just
So
schooled you just schooled person?
I try to look, man. You can lead them to the water, can't make them drink. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'll be on there, man. I think episodes come out on Fridays, so check that out. Like I said, every episode, man, I'm repping toe to toe. At the end of the day, man, everything we do is funneled back to this platform, man, because this toe to toe thing is we trying to make this thing.
Yeah, man, it's
You know
gonna
what I'm
get there,
saying?
man.
New Year's Eve fireworks, man. So
Oh
salute.
yeah.
This whole thing started off with the idea, man. I had a podcast before. We weren't able to keep it up because we were just too busy. Had the opportunity to start with somebody. Didn't even know this man from a can of paint.
Not
I know
really.
y'all probably think we probably grew up together. I didn't know Steve from a can of paint. We were just in the same
And we
group.
worked in the same building, didn't even
We
know each
worked in
other.
that look. We worked in the same building for like 3 years. Didn't even know each other. Had no idea of this man. We just talked trash in a group. We kept it funny. We kept it jokes. We kept it positive. You know what I'm saying? It was always love and banter back and forth. And when I had the opportunity to start the show, I was like, man, I don't know nobody better than this guy that I've been talking to. This guy named Steve. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to try to get this thing up and running. And from week one, man, we just been rocking and rolling, dog. So appreciate you for taking the journey with your boy. Yeah, man.
You know it, man. You know it. I appreciate you for even giving me the opportunity, man. Like you said, it's something I've been wanting to do. I have plenty of partners I've been talking about doing it with out there, and nobody ever executed it. So when you came to me with it, bro, and you were serious with it, yeah, I was definitely jumping on it, man. So I appreciate the opportunity, man. You bringing it to me and introducing me to Jacob and Icon and Chris and the whole thing, everything that's manifested on that side too. Yeah, bro, I owe it all to you, man. We gonna do this thing the right way. That's why you got gifts coming, man. I got other gifts and stuff coming for you,
Hey,
man. You know how I do, man.
shout
This
out
is
to the
Steve,
shout
bro.
out to
That's
the
what
show.
I
You think
do, man.
you think you see toe to toe now? Wait till it's gonna be a walking billboard. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's
yeah.
different
Oh man.
when you wearing your own logo. So shout out to that, man. We're gonna be selling merch 2023. We coming. And if you ride with us, you riding with us. And if you ain't, lie down in front of the car and we
Damn,
gonna
I
just
should
roll
have
out
had
there.
that Dion queued up. God dog, I should have
We
had that
coming.
Dion queued up. We coming. We coming, baby. The prayer
Play
said we
my
coming.
play my theme music.
We coming.
Motherfucking mind stop jumping.
Hey
Yeah, what
man,
today? This is the theme music for today. So I don't know if
I'm
y'all know.
riding with it. Hey man, we out of here. We appreciate y'all. We're gonna ride out to this.
Shout out to BJ, man.
Yes, sir. We out of here.
Peace.